I would like to thank Topcon and the organizing committee for the opportunity to discuss imaging in uveitis. And the first presentation will be on swept source OCT angiography and uveitic cystoid macular edema. As you know, cystoid macular edema is the leading cause of visual loss in patients with uveitis. Fluorescein angiography and spectral domain OCT are the gold standard for diagnosis and monitoring of inflammatory cystoid macular edema. OCT angiography has been recently shown to be useful in the evaluation and management of inflammatory retinal and choroidal disorders. And the purpose of this study is to describe swept source OCT angiography findings in eyes with uveitic cystoid macular edema. This is a prospective comparative study including 36 eyes of 32 patients with uveitis and associated cystoid macular edema examined by fluorescein angiography, swept source OCT, and swept source OCT angiography. And we also included 22 eyes of 11 healthy subjects examined by swept source OCT angiography to serve as a control group. All patients had a standard protocol with using swept source OCT-A with the DRI OCT Triton Plus. And our study included a qualitative assessment of cystoid spaces and associated microvascular changes, and a quantitative assessment using a publicly available software to evaluate the foveal vascular zone area and the vessel density. Intraretinal cystoid space. All eyes with cystoid macular edema on swept source OCT had well-defined black roundish area completely devoid of flow on swept source OCT-A, as you can see. Cystoid spaces were evident on fluorescein angiography in only 20 eyes, 55% of our cases. The intraretinal cystoid spaces involved the superficial capillary plexus in only 20% of cases. The deep capillary plexus was involved in all eyes. Peripheral capillary arcade was visible in the superficial capillary plexus on swept source OCT-A in all cases and in only 64% of cases on fluorescein angiography. And there was this eruption of this perifoveal capillary arcade in 4 eyes on swept source OCT-A. Associated area of retinal capillary non-perfusion or hypoperfusion presenting in the form of a regular hypointense grayish area was much more common on swept source OCT angiography than on fluorescein angiography. And these capillary non-perfusion areas were more frequent in the deep capillary plexus than in the superficial capillary plexus. Perifoveal capillary changes, capillary rarefaction, and vessel dilation more frequently seen in the deep capillary plexus than in the superficial capillary plexus. Disorganization of the normal architecture of the capillary network more frequently observed in the deep capillary plexus than in the superficial capillary plexus. The foveal vascular zone was not significantly different from that in the control group in the superficial capillary plexus. However, it was significantly larger than in the control group in the deep capillary plexus. The vessel density was found to be significantly lower in both plexuses than in the control group. Correlation between OCT-A and OCT finding. Disorganization of the normal architecture of the capillary network in the deep capillary plexus was found to be significantly associated with a higher central macular thickness. Non-perfused or hypoperfused area on swept source OCT-A significantly associated with this eruption of the ellipsoid zone and the presence of cystoid spaces in the outer nuclear layer on swept source OCT. We had resolved uveitic cystoid macular edema on OCT in 11 eyes, and we could see a complete or partial recovery of the normal pattern of retinal capillary plexus on OCT angiography. We also had 3 patients, 3 eyes, in which new cystoid spaces developed within pre-existing area of capillary rarefaction or hypoperfusion. This is a case of showing a complete or near complete recovery of the normal pattern of retinal plexuses on OCT angiography following resolution of cystoid macular edema after periocular cystoid treatment. This is cystoid spaces replaced by area of capillary rarefaction and disorganization of capillary network following the resolution of cystoid macular edema. Cystoid spaces replaced by areas of capillary non-perfusion after resolution of cystoid macular edema on swept source OCT. Development of new cystoid space within pre-existing areas of capillary rarefaction hypoperfusion in 3 eyes, as you can see in this case. Both in eyes with resolved cystoid macular edema, both phase area and vessel density significantly improved in the deep capillary plexus after resolution of cystoid macular edema. In eyes with resolved cystoid macular edema, a worse final visual acuity was associated with capillary rarefaction, persistent capillary hypoperfusion, architecture disorganization, a larger phase area, and a lower vessel density. So in conclusion, swept source OCTA provides a better visualization of perifoveal microvascular changes associated with inflammatory cystoid macular edema better than fluorescent angiography. The deep capillary plexus was found to be more severely affected than the superficial one. Resolution of macular edema on swept source OCT may be associated with a partial or complete recovery of the normal pattern of retinal capillary plexuses on swept source OCT angiography. We need further studies to better clarify the role of swept source OCTA in the evaluation and management of inflammatory cystoid macular edema and in assessing predictive factors for visual outcome. Thank you for your kind attention.